The paper trail tonight. Voter fraud charges in Palm Beach County have the Florida Department of Law Enforcement on its way to investigate.
It's all part of a story spanning the country, and Evan Axelbank is here live with calls for action. Evan?
Kelly and Michael, take a look. 60,000 pages. This is how much paper the election supervisor here in Palm Beach County would have to go through before Election Day. That is, unless Congressman Ted Deutsch has his way. With election supervisors still unsure of how many recently changed voter records were tampered with, Democratic Congressman Ted Deutsch says Republican Governor Rick Scott could help.
He needs to act. He needs to appoint a bipartisan panel, and he needs to move forward as quickly as possible to reassure Florida's voters that their votes are going to count.
In his letter to the governor, Deutsch urged Scott to allow election supervisor Susan Booker access to the now fired third-party registration firm's paperwork. He and Booker say that paperwork could show how deep the fraud goes, whether there are voters who don't know their records were changed by Strategic Allied Consulting. Otherwise, Booker says, her team has to look at 60,000 recently changed forms by hand.
That way we could just go through and look for any problematic ones if we have just an isolated group.
Booker told us that more than a dozen voters have written her office asking whether their records were safe from Strategic Allied Consulting. She read one of the urgent emails.
I voted before in the last few years and never had this problem. Please tell me what I should do.
Deutsch says a Scott commission could ensure voter confidence. He says the governor went to great lengths over the last year to ensure that there were no illegal voters on the rolls. Now Deutsch says the governor should act on this one too.
It doesn't matter who's engaged in voter fraud. We've got to do everything we can to protect the rights of all voters.
Governor Scott's office praised the efforts of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, but did not say whether he would call for his own commission. The Republican Party of Florida says that Congressman Deutsch is out to score political points and that a second investigation would get in the way of the first one. Evan Axelbank, WPTV News Channel 5.